What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and earlier today, Jeff Kaplan was very active on the Overwatch forums and left a number of comments regarding quite a few interesting topics, ranging from upcoming changes to Pharah, a new developer update video which is going to be coming out next week, as well as what could possibly be some clues hinting at the upcoming Torbjorn rework, or even the mysterious third new social feature. There's a good bit here to get through, so let's jump right on in. So to start, one of his comments was a response to a question of, are we going to see any Pharah changes soon? And he responded by saying, we've been trying some changes to Pharah internally. Some of these changes might make their way to the PTR next week. More details to come later. Now this is a rather vague sort of statement, and they don't even specify whether or not these changes are going to be nerfs or buffs. However, given that the overall tone of this post as a whole was talking about how Pharah is in need of some buffs, given that she feels rather weak at this point in time, it seems most likely that Jeff Kaplan was indicating that Pharah will be getting some kind of buffs. Now Pharah by no means is a hero that I consider to be exceptionally weak. In fact, I think she can still be very strong in certain situations, so it is rather surprising that they're even looking at changing her at all. It is also possible that these are instead just sort of quality of life changes that won't really make her any stronger or weaker, but overall will just make her feel better as a hero to play. Again, there's not much more we have to go off of right now, but it does sound like there will in fact be a PTR update next week, which is actually pretty important given some of the other things he talks about here. The big one being a response to a question asking whether we can get another developer update video. His response being, we just recorded a developer update. Should go up next week. So next week we can expect both a new PTR patch and a new developer update. This definitely seems to be hinting at a few possibilities, namely being either the Torbjorn rework, the third new social feature, or maybe even both. The social feature in particular we do know was originally scheduled to be coming out around this time, either late summer or early fall of 2018, and within the past few months we've heard absolutely nothing about it. So what better way to introduce this brand new feature than with its own developer update video, coinciding perfectly with it going to the PTR. Now the same thing could also apply to the Torbjorn rework. We did of course get a developer update video for the Symmetra rework back in the day, and given that the Torbjorn rework is seemingly going to be as significant as the Symmetra rework, it seems likely that they would have a dev update for this one too. While Blizzard never gave a specification on when they were expecting the Torb rework to be finished, we do know that they have been working on it for quite a long time at this point. I talked about this in a recent one of my videos where I was saying that the Torbjorn rework is something we're most likely going to be seeing very soon. So honestly, it could be either of these two options, the Torb rework or the social feature, and possibly it'll even be both. If that's the case, then we've got a lot of exciting changes coming up very soon, being next week. Now, in addition to this possible teaser for the upcoming new content, Jeff Kaplan did have a couple of other important comments he left here. One was in response to a question about the BlizzCon Demon Hunter Sombra skin, which was asking whether or not if you had your Battle.net account linked to a console, would the skin apply to both your PC and console versions if you have both on your account. And according to Jeff Kaplan, that is in fact how it will work. As long as your console account is linked to your Battle.net account, you'll receive the skin on both platforms. Now honestly, I would not have expected this, because this is almost like saying you're getting multiple versions of the skin. And given that console and PC players can't cross over their skins and other cosmetics, it's rather surprising that those who play on both platforms will in fact be able to get the skin on both. However, it gets even more interesting as in a follow-up comment to Jeff's post here, somebody pointed out this fact that you can't transfer skins between platforms, and yet they're still able to give out the skin on both platforms for those who have it. And in response, Jeff Kaplan says, yeah, we're not crazy about that. We're brainstorming solutions. It's complicated. Now, what he seems to be saying here is that they're not crazy about the fact that people are unable to transfer their cosmetics. I think it's safe to say that Blizzard would like for people to be able to transfer as they wanted, but I think the complications he talks about have to do with the possibility of essentially cloning cosmetic items onto other accounts and then possibly selling those accounts as a way to sort of trade. Now, I'm not exactly sure when it comes to the technical side of how all this works. As strictly a PC player, I've I've never even linked a console to my Battle.net account. But it is possible that on the technical side of things, there would be the possibility of some sort of account cloning, which would result in people being able to, as I said, essentially sell cosmetics by selling accounts that have them. Now, I really don't know what the proper workarounds would be for this. Again, it sounds like Blizzard themselves are brainstorming solutions for it. Hopefully they'll end up finding something that works, because I know this is an issue that a lot of people have encountered. All the time I see people making posts on the subreddit and the forums talking about how they'd like to transfer from one platform to the other, but the reason they don't is because they don't want to lose all their items. And that's completely understandable. So hopefully Blizzard will end up finding a solution to this, and it's nice to hear from Jeff Kaplan himself that this is at least something they're aware of and concerned about. Now, the last big thing that Jeff talked about on the forums today was in response to a question of asking whether smurfing is cheating. Now, according to Jeff here, starting a new account is not against the rules. Boosting or throwing is against the rules. If you start a new account and play normally, the matchmaker determines your skill level very quickly and matches you with similar players. I see people talking quite often about the idea of smurfing and whether it is cheating, and to be honest, I don't really think it is. I kind of agree with Jeff Kaplan here. If you're intentionally boosting or throwing, then yes, that's a problem and you should be punished for doing that. However, if you just want to make another account and you plan to play it exactly the same way you would play your initial account, then what's really the problem? You'll still get matched with people who are sitting at your same skill level. It might take, 2 or 3 matches to finally get the matchmaker to sort of figure out where you belong, but still, overall, it doesn't really seem like a problem, again, as long as people aren't using it with ill intent. So I thought this was a very interesting thing to hear from Jeff Kaplan himself regarding Blizzard's stance on things like smurfing. I know they've talked about it in the past, but again, it's always nice to hear their current stance on it, so to say. And there you go, these have been all the important things Jeff Kaplan talked about today on the Overwatch forums. Again, it sounds like there's going to be some pretty big stuff happening next week, so be sure to stay tuned to my channel because I'll be sure to cover it all as quickly and efficiently as I can. But let me know down in the comments below what you're most excited about from the things talked about here today. Which of the possible updates next week are you most excited for it to be? If you didn't see my video earlier today, it was talking about the Demon Hunter Sombra skin and how there's actually going to be a way to get it outside of buying a BlizzCon virtual ticket, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.